You look like a weird turtle.
A turtle.
Because your neck, yeah, exactly.
I see. I'm gonna have to change the setup, avoiding the table. Hey guys, and welcome to Hey guys, and welcome to Off the Cuff. Today I'm going to talk about being unique. Well,
You're special.
alright, so recently I've had somebody ask me a question about how, when it comes to the game design and or being a creator, how are you going to be unique and how will you stand out of the crowd with what you do, etc. Now, I think there is only one simple answer to this. I'm just going to move back so I don't elbow the table. I think there's only one simple answer to this, and that is by being yourself, full stop. Now, there are a few things you got to keep in mind. Most of it is pretty common sense, and we all know it if we think about it deep enough. There's a lot of crap out there. A lot of people do not put the work and love into stuff. This doesn't to some of the topics I talked about in previous weeks, but it is its own topic, and I just wanted to separate it. Now, I feel like with creations, there is a lot of stuff where people just literally take stuff that is has been popular and they clone the hell out of it, trying to make easy money with no creativity, love, or passion for it. Now, if you as a creator take something and it is truly your creation, inspiration is good. We talked about this before. I think that getting inspired by other work, that's important. Really, really important. Iterate, get inspired by something and create your own thing based on an idea. Could be far off at the end of it, but you might have started with Pac-Man, ended up with something like Mario Brothers. But you get inspired, that's fine. But cloning is bad. Now, if you truly take an idea that is your own, you try and be unique, you try and put your heart into it, your personality, your soul, it is going to be yours, and nobody else, if you're not cloning, will make a game like you. That goes for music, that goes for movies, that goes for anything. Example, a band that I like, Guns N' Roses, right? Old school band. There are people that absolutely hate Axl's voice. There are people who absolutely love Axl's voice. You cannot please everybody. You are going to have people who love what you do and people who might hate what you do. That doesn't mean that it's bad, it just means that it's not their cup of tea. Now, your job, or our job, my job, is to hone my craft, get better at what I do, take constructive feedback, criticism, constructive feedback and criticism, things that make sense, and change them. They often say, you've heard this saying before, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, that's very true. I mean, if you are going to make a game and the feedback to it is horrendous from players and basically everybody, try and pick the points that if nobody likes it, well, it's your own risk to do that again. Now, if they don't like it because things you can change, because maybe you've made mistakes, maybe you're still getting used to game design, maybe your mechanics aren't quite there, maybe you need to polish things up a little bit, maybe the difficulty is too high, maybe your graphics are a little bit rough on the edges and you need to make them a little bit better. There are many reasons and ways you can make your games better. However, if it is your idea they don't like, then maybe that's up to you. You can wait until somebody likes it and keep doing the same thing, or you can just try something different. I really believe that just experimenting, doing a whole bunch of different things, then seeing what works and building on that is the best idea of all. I mean, I think that is going to be my strategy going forward. If I see something being popular, a particular style, or if I see that people, that way I'm not selling out. I'm still making things I like. I'm just adjusting, honing my craft. There is a difference between selling out and not doing things you love, and then also pleasing people that you're making it for. You're making it for yourself, but you're also making it for players. You want people to be able to play it and see the ending that you've designed, or to go through the story that you've designed. And if you make your puzzles too hard, nobody's going to be able to experience your story. So if you want the best of both worlds, and if you want to do things you love but also want people to experience what it is that you've done, you need to adjust things along the way in order to make it possible for people to play. I know some of the games I've made over the last 14 weeks, I have a pretty high difficulty level. And, overall, I want to decrease that. I want to make sure that, my games are approachable and that sort of thing. However, this is another thing. There is nothing bad about throwing a couple of games in there that do have an incredibly high difficulty. Things that are, look at something like Flappy Bird. It's not necessarily an easy to get into game. Most of us have played it, just even if it's a clone or something like that. And Flappy Bird itself is not... I think the first time I played it, I scored about 1. Then the second time, maybe 1. Then the third time, maybe 2. And then I think my highest score of all time was about 5. And then I just gave up because I couldn't be bothered, right? However, that doesn't mean that somebody else will not get absolutely obsessed over it. Why else did it become such a huge hit? It is one of those perfectly simple to play games, super, super simple, that you can challenge your friends, see if you can get good at it. And it is, for some people, extremely addictive. Who am I to say, who is anyone to say that one idea that you have, if it is polished, if it works well, if the mechanics are good, won't make you win the lottery. Experimentation is good, throwing things out there is good, and I believe one of the biggest things is don't be afraid to release your creations. I think one of the biggest issues and things that I faced as a creator was that I was afraid to put my stuff out because what if people don't like this one? What if people don't like that? What if this is not good enough? What if the feedback... I genuinely do not care about releasing my creations anymore, because I know that I'm in it for the long run. It's not about this one particular game. This game, I can easily make some adjustments, but it is once I make a 1-week game, that's behind me. Now there is another one. If I later on at some stage start making 1-month games, it's the same thing. If I was going to spend 2-3 years on a game, that would be a slightly different story. Then you'd really have to listen, because if you were in it for a monetary return, you would really have to be careful about what you're designing. But if with these quick ones, with small games, there is less risk involved in this time you invested, and so you are more free to experiment a little bit and do little things, and quickly along the way learn what people like, and allow yourself to get better at what you do. However, again, remember what I said. Just because you have a couple of hard games in there, or things that some people don't like yet others do, doesn't make them a bad game. I remember I made a game a long time ago when I was starting. Actually, my first game ever was Ninja Glove in Flash. And when I first put it on Newgrounds, there was a site that, it's still going. The scores weren't great. People bashed it a little bit, but it was 50-50. There were people out there that were absolutely obsessed with it. There was numerous YouTube videos of people trying to beat it with a high score. Part of it was getting the ratings, because you got different finger ratings with ninjas. And then I remember there was even a Facebook group dedicated to the site where people were trying to become or get the Ninja Glove or the high score or whatever. It was insane. And yet, on the other hand, the game didn't necessarily score well. Yet it had, what would you call it? What's that word when there's a cult following? A cult following. So, you honestly, experimentation, hone your craft, listen to constructive feedback, and be unique by being yourself and putting your ideas out there, putting love into them, putting your heart into them, and you will stand out with a little bit of marketing and pushing yourself. You can't expect people to find your stuff without telling anybody about it. So get onto social media and stuff like that. So that way you've got an opportunity or a chance to at least have some people see it, maybe send it to their friends. So remember that. That's an important part. If you sit there, don't release your creations and don't tell anybody about them, no one's ever going to know. But I really believe that's a way to be unique. I think that's all. I just wanted to put it out there. Don't be afraid to release your stuff. Do it. Put it out there. Get better at it. And enjoy the process. I think that's all I have to say today. See you in the next episode.